Howdy, y'all. Looks like it's time for another tailgate. Guess we'll make it happen. Wow, I made it through the whole intro music and nobody's here yet. I'm not upset. Well, somebody's here. It's Friday. The weekend has arrived. The world is not ending. And I finish it off a pipe. Sutliff RL-4. It's an English blend. And of course, I've got enough background noise to choke out most normal live streams. Tumbleweed? Oh no, come on, Jeff. It's not tumbleweeds. Had an airplane, a bus, sounded like a helicopter. I can hear some lawn mowing going on. 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's not say Celsius there. Howdy, Zippo. Great to see you, Derek. Great to see you as well, Jeff. Yeah, I do collect quite a bit of background noise. Yes, I had the Inspirato Green. That, of course, is the Macanudo Inspirato with the green light. God, look at there. I forgot to do something. Let me take care of that real quick. Put this sucker on temporary mute. 3 hours from now, it can ding at me all at once. But right now, that's just wrong. And yes, I've had all the Henry Clay lineup. Honestly, Jeff, I liked the red and the orange better than the green. Green just didn't really do it for me. Not to say that the green was bad, just that it didn't hit my palate right. And that's okay. You know, of the thousands of cigars out there, for one cigar to not hit my palate just right, so what? So they didn't make that one specifically for me. I'm okay with that. Not everybody likes all the cigars I like. That's fine. Now, Jeff, it was good. Corvette. Old Corvette, too. But it couldn't have been any older than a 74. I know this because the 73 still had some little pucks that stuck out in front that were chrome. And the 74 did away with that. And it didn't have any of those little chrome pucks sticking out front. Well, Derek, there is nothing wrong with being under-tried in cigars. I mean, some people walk up, try their first cigar, like it so much they stick with it, and that's it. And you know what? Hey, more power to you. That is an awesome thing. Knowing for a fact you don't have to look anymore. You're done looking. You found the exact right cigar for your palate. Some of us tried for years to find a cigar that we actually liked. Someone like me. And they found some. And then they found some others. And then they got into that whole thing where it was more fun trying new cigars than it was to actually just say, oh yeah, this is my favorite. Well, Derek, I'm willing to work with you, brother. See, now, I'm not a big fan of the triple Maduro. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I'll smoke it. That's a Camacho triple Maduro. It's the only one called triple Maduro. But for me, it just feels too oily. guess working in too many refineries, I kind of want to not deal with that much oil per my palate. By the way, today we'll be smoking a Alec Bradley Prensado Lost Art. Jeff, that's actually a pretty good jumping off point in the Maduro world. And it is one of my more favored cigars. Now, I tell people it's a good spot to jump into. If you're a pipe smoker and you like a good, strong cigar, but not something that's going to flatten you, and not something that has so much flavor that you're going to be just completely annihilated. It's smooth. It's easy. But it's got enough strength that you're going like, okay, well, I had a nice smoke. And it's got enough flavor that you're able to start picking up some of these things without it being like so complex that you're going like, I can't tell what I'm tasting. Oh yeah, the Prensado Lost Art, yeah, definitely a great cigar. I'm still of the opinion this is the best cigar that Alec Bradley ever created up to today's date. They've got a pretty damn good lineup. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but this is definitely a more advanced level cigar. I would almost never tell somebody to get this one right off. There's the little nuances that are present with this cigar that you're not going to catch with any other of the Alec Bradley lineup that are just, until you've had a few cigars, I would, quite honestly, I'd stay off of this one. But if you've had a few and you're willing to try something just a little bit more complex with some just real good flavoring, not that there's any flavoring added, there's no flavoring added to this, but the flavors you'll get out of it are really, really good. But I've seen some people that, oh yeah, I want to try the best cigar. Well, I could suggest it, but it might not hit your palate correctly. It'd be hard for a beginner to disagree with me. Whereas, as you suggested, the black market. With the black market, you're going to know if you like it or not. And you're going to be able to tell me what you're tasting and I would be able to say, okay, well, if you're tasting this and you're not liking that, well then let's work from there a different direction, or let's work from there this other direction. There's really only 3 ways you can go from the black market. that would be lighter, so natural or Connecticut. That would be stronger, more Ligero, more Maduro, or different flavor entirely, which is a whole range of different cigars. But I'm able to say, okay, well, but did you like how smooth it was? Or, you know, there's other questions I'd be able to ask that really is able to let me figure out where your palate is, and then steer you in the correct direction for what you would more prefer. All right, infused cigars. If you will spell the word natural and then spell it backwards, there's a cigar by Drew Estates called La Routine, which is the word natural but spelled backwards. And it's been blended with a certain amount of pipe tobacco. For me, that's an easy suggestion to anybody who's been a pipe smoker for a while. Oh yeah, Jeff, black market is like so barely above medium, but because it's smooth, it's not going to choke you out. It's not so strong that it's going to beat you down. It's just an easy cigar. I mean, if you're wanting something that's completely different than a Maduro, though, the same maker, Alec Bradley, they have a Project 40. Not the Project 40 Maduro, but the Project 40. And you get notes of like tea and honeysuckle. Not strong honeysuckle, but more like you're across the backyard from a honeysuckle vine that's growing up on somebody's fence. You can taste it. That aroma is there, but it's not like, it's not brass knuckles hitting you in the face. Howdy, Todd. Great to see you, sir. A lot of times, that's really the hard part with cigars, is finding a cigar that's going to work for you without being so brutal that you're choking on it. I'm obviously going to have to adjust the whole studio. Give me a second. We stretched that around up there. Move the chair to here. This way I'll be able to see the words instead of when they crawl up onto the white section right back over here and then I lose them. Now, unfortunately, there's a lot of tobacconists out there that they want to push a certain cigar for one reason or the other. And it's either because they have some sort of market share going on, where if they sell a certain number of this cigars, they get a bonus of some sort, or it's their favorite cigar and they lose track that not everybody's palate is going to be the same as theirs. There's lots of little reasons why a tobacconist would do that. When I was a tobacconist, my goal was not to pick my cigar for them. It was to help them pick their cigar. Whenever they got their cigar just right, that was the goal. I wanted everybody to get that one cigar that for them was the absolute best cigar. And sometimes that's very hard to do. Obviously, I can't just crawl into your mouth and say, hey, this is what you're tasting. So I got to figure out what notes you're collecting off of each cigar you've tried. One thing I used to suggest to the really, really difficult customers was go to the dollar store, get yourself one of those little bitty notebooks, and when you take the band off, stick the band with some tape or whatever to a page, and then write down what you liked about a cigar and write down what you didn't like about that cigar. Todd, if you're getting a cigar here in the United States and they're saying that it's Cuban and you're paying less than $10 for each one, then you're probably getting a pretty good deal. But the other side of that is they might be ripping you off because they're using the word Cuban knowing full well that it's not Cuban in any way, shape, or form. I would think in this situation, it's actually that someone's trying to rip you off, get you to buy something that's not Cuban in any way, shape, or form. But $3 per cigar, that's not a bad price for a cigar. I don't know if you're going to like the flavors. I don't even know if they're going to be smokable, but $3 for a cigar is not a bad price. Well, you know, I'm judging because it's $9 for 3 Cuban rounds is what you've written. So that's $3 a stick. It's not bad. Huva Ilta, Boris. Great to see you, sir. By the way, how was curling the other evening? I know you were watching. And just to remind me how truly awesome Boris is. Boris, what's the weather like there, brother? 73 degrees. It's going to fall off somewhere into the 60s by the time I get off of here. I'll be okay. T-shirt. I almost decided to wear shorts, but I had to do a little yard work today. Well, I don't wear shorts when I'm doing yard work. Mostly because then I got to run inside and take a shower. Keep me from itching. That's right. Alec Bradley, Prensado, Lost Art. I still love this stick. Even if it is box pressed. And it's box pressed well enough that if you took the wrapper, not wrapper, but if you took the bands off of this, and you took the bands off of a Padron that is the exact same size and length, you'd be like, yeah, it's a Padron Natural. You'd swear it is. Unless you watched real closely, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And then you smoke it, and you would know which one's a Padron right away. Woo, Boris, just below freezing. Well, stay dry and stay warm. Obviously, it's not going to get down to freezing around here anytime soon. I checked up to 5 days out. I don't see any freezing temperatures. Breezy, though. It's a little breezy. Boris, I'm hoping that you're getting very close to spring there. And Todd, they do a box press one so that you can fit more into a smaller box, but it will intensify certain things, certain flavors you will get more of. But very hard to say. Dan, howdy, sir. Great to see you. Now, normally I am not a fan of box press cigars because I like to roll my cigar around in my fingers, and when it hits that spot where you're on one of the points, it doesn't have that same aesthetic appeal. I'm getting over that a little bit because there are so many good box press cigars out there, but my personal preference is for a round cigar. Well, that's good. All the ice off the driveway is definitely a good thing for Canada.
Does the ice burn? Apparently in Alabama the ice doesn't burn because it's plastic.
Okay. So my wife has now informed me that apparently ice does not burn in Alabama because it's plastic.
That's the latest thing. You know, when you have your tinfoil hat on, is that what's coming down isn't actually snow? Is there any truth out there? Has anybody put a lighter up to the snow? Is it actually turning black and getting hard, or is it melting like water does? That's my question.
My wife has gone full tinfoil hat. Just in case y'all didn't know this, she is a huge conspiracy theorist.
I worked for the government, I know. Tell me.
I worked for the government.
Not in this capacity that I did, so thanks for playing the game. But now I work for the Chinese government.
Hey, you heard it here first. She just said she now works for the Chinese government. Of course, we all knew that. I've mentioned it before. Dan, yeah. Water is wet. That's the one argument I'm going to win.
While I agree, they're saying that the snow falling from the sky, if you heat it, it does not turn into water. It turns into a lump of burnt plastic. That's my question. Any peeps out there from Alabama or wherever that's doing that?
Okay, well, so far nobody I know of that's in here is from Alabama. I guess Todd is closest to Alabama. Boris is in Finland.
They're saying it's due to the contrails.
That's nowhere near Alabama.
I know. Poor Boris. So far away.
Dan is in Canada.
Hockey puck.
Glenn, who almost never shows up here, he's in Australia. And if you're a flat earther, that means he's an actor and doesn't actually exist.
No, that means that if he's not on, he's probably been pulled out of his home and put in a concentration camp for not being vaccinated.
I know, Glenn's been vaccinated.
Oh. Maybe he's a cyborg now and he doesn't have to chime in.
James, there is a good possibility that Holly is following every possible crazy feed on TikTok and is definitely listening to the wrong people.
I love TikTok. It's so stupid.
I recently, because she's so into crazy conspiracy theories, I got her to get a book by William Cooper. It's Milton William Cooper to be official, but on the book it just says by William Cooper. It's called Behold a Pale Horse. And it is a psychedelic acid trip of a color. The cover. Sorry, not color, but the cover.
Yes.
And it is a book that's completely full of deranged conspiracy theories. But at least that guy had the audacity to do a lot of research and fill up the book with a bunch of fact. He published it in 1991. I've read it a couple of times. He died in 2001.
He died.
Well, let's see. The word died means that when the government in Arizona decided to go and have some talks with him because he was having problems with some of his neighbors, and he pulled out a gun and shot one of the cops in the head, And then they went ahead and helped him on his way towards cop-assisted suicide.
I don't like the attitude flowing here.
Yes, he's dead.
I'm sure Hillary had part of that.
I didn't say that he might or might not have had dirt on the Clintons. Lord knows if you have dirt on the Clintons, keep it quiet, stay alive. There's a whole conspiracy theory related to the number of deaths that are connected to the Clintons.
No. It stops being a conspiracy theory when there are so many facts that support it.
Well, look, I don't disagree with you, babe, but I want to stay breathing past next week.
I ain't afraid of Hillary.
So I'm going to call it a conspiracy theory. The average human, let's just say average human, is within reason somewhat connected to 5 to 10 people who have died in some way, shape, or form. James, are you leaving? No, you can stick around.
He's over the conspiracy theory crap.
The Clintons are somewhere around 70 or 80. And Dan, yes, Norm Macdonald definitely made jokes about the number of Clinton problems. I one time mentioned it to a person and they came back saying, well, this person was their friend. Speaking of a certain guy that Miss Clinton sent to a certain place called Benghazi and then conveniently ditched him there and didn't send any kind of military support in the process of like 13 hours. No big deal.
What do you mean no big deal? Normal people don't do that.
Holly's complaining. She didn't see my face when I said no big deal.
That's right. I didn't.
She didn't look at me giving the quote-unquote crazy face. By the way, there are at least 5 military bases that could have sent military personnel within 5 hours of Benghazi. And they were asking for military support in hour 1. So why it didn't show up before hour 13 when everything kind of was over, even though Israel and France sent some military flyovers? That's just a curiosity. Maybe the guy knew something that it was just easier to have this guy sent to a war zone and conveniently have him removed. It's not her fault, right? That's okay. I conveniently tied a certain person at a certain online publication to Hillary Clinton at one point in time. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm surprised that guy is still friends with me. And Phil, if you're watching, you know it was just a joke, right? And we're not talking about the guy who makes pipes, but more about the guy who likes watches. Oh yeah, I left it out there. I tied it all up nice and pretty, and then I showed the picture. According to Phil, he was watching it. He damn near had to find a gun to come shoot me. Probably should have expected to got shot from that one. Yeah, but all I need is a few facts. I'll tie it together. I'll convince the world that you are somebody who you are not. Okay, maybe not Boris. I'm not going to do that to Boris. There is no way I'm going to try and convince the world that some awesome dude living in Finland is somebody other than some awesome dude living in Finland. There's just no point in it, right? Well, now I'm hearing some hammering from over there, but at least it's not those gunshot hammerings, right? Y'all remember that a couple months back?
Oh, there were some of those the other night.
Oh. Holly will have a conspiracy theory about that in a couple of days. It'll be fine. So, babe, are you off work or just taking a break?
Break. Break's over.
Holly waved. I know y'all couldn't see it. Oh, there it is. She waved. She's going back to toil away the rest of her day for China. She works for a Chinese company, and if you understand communism, you already know that company is owned by the government of China. No big deal. For a low nicotine but strong flavored Maduro. Low nicotine and Maduro are, that's going to be the hard thing there. But you also want it to be strong flavored. I'm not really sure that there is such a thing. Most Maduro, you're going to get quite a bit more nicotine than you're expecting. Okay. Is pepper allowed? If you're okay with pepper, and you're okay with notes from a sherry cask, or if you're not too worried about price, or if you're okay with small ring gauge and short length. I've got 3 in mind. If you're okay with notes of pepper and notes of a sherry cask, I would suggest the Diesel Whiskey Row. It's going to have some pepper in it. And it's going to have some sherry cask notes, and it's going to alternate between those two. I found it to be an exceptionally good cigar, but I don't remember it being super strong. And I'm not for certain that it would be qualified as a Maduro. Okay, smaller cigars. Now, I'm going to suggest this, and I don't want you to sit there and think that I'm suggesting it just because it's one of my favorites. But it's closer to fitting the bill for what you're asking about. Alec Bradley Black Market makes a size called the Punk, P-U-N-K. And because it's smaller ring gauge, you're going to get more intense flavor, but it's not going to be super strong nicotine wise. The Alec Bradley Black Market Punk. So add a Black Market in between Bradley and Punk, and you got it right. Howdy, Paul and Sharon. Great to see both of you. And if you're good with that, then come back and let me know after you've tried that. If that's not hitting you right, I got a few other possible suggestions, but you're wanting to stay Robusto or smaller. If you're thinking lighter on the nicotine, because the more that you got, the stronger it's going to be nicotine wise. Yes, Dan, that's correct. Now, I'm a fan of the Black Market, and I've smoked a box or two of the Punk size. Not a big cigar, but for me it was enough to be like, okay, well, I'm good. But it's a lot stronger on flavor than the regular Black Market, because as you get a smaller and smaller ring gauge, you will get more flavor. But I know that the Black Market lineup is lighter on nicotine for still being a Maduro than a lot of the other ones. That's the reason I suggested that one, because you asked for lighter in nicotine but still stronger in flavor. So it's hard to do that, because normally you end up jumping up in the nicotine as you go into the Maduro anyways. Y'all doing all right today?
Yeah, how about you?
Pretty good.
It's gonna be a beautiful day.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to get a little chilly tonight.
What's that?
Supposed to get a little chilly tonight.
Of course.
Aren't we all? As y'all know, I sit out here quite often. My people that walk back and forth through the neighborhoods to get their exercise, they all know who I am. When things were getting really crazy at the very first part of COVID, a lot of the neighbors here in the neighborhood decided they'd get together with me and start asking, how do we keep people out of our neighborhoods that don't have any reason to be here? I was like, hey, get with the city of Friendswood. See if it's okay to put some sawhorses up here at the front of the street. With just enough room that they could turn around if that's what they're doing. We talked it over with the city, and the city said, no, that's not going to happen. So, whatever. My idea didn't work. Okay, Dan, that's, yeah, that would be a concern. I can see that. One thing to check the amount of nicotine, if it's going to raise your blood pressure, is to have some sort of a sugary drink. Now, I'm not saying, yeah, you got to have yourself that 5 gallons of sugar in a half ounce of water type of a drink, but hot tea with a little bit of honey in it, you can regulate it your own self. Coffee is the same way. Fruit juice, that has a naturally occurring sugar, so that would be able to work with you. But if you're having a problem where the nicotine's raising that blood pressure, sometimes that's because your sugars are bottoming out. And as your sugars bottom out, it'll make you feel a little queasy or something, and that can have the side effect of raising that blood pressure. You might want to check with that. I'm not saying that that's going to work, but from what I do know of medical knowledge, it has a good possibility of working in your favor. I mean, apple juice is pretty high in naturally occurring sugar. Cranberry juice, they load up full of sugar. Oh, yeah. But at least if the nicotine is starting to drop your sugars out, you can regulate it that way. And now, just a theory. I'm not saying it's going to work. But my theory is that it might help in those situations. Of course, you live up in Canada, so setting out a glass of something sugary, you probably just might as well jam a popsicle stick into it, because it'll be a block of ice by the time you get around to drinking it. Unless it's something hot, tea, honey, coffee, something. Oh, Boris. That's awesome. All right, Paul. Ball's in your court. Boris is talking crap about you. You got to swing back, brother. You can't just leave that one hanging out there. You got to poke some fun back at Boris. If you can. Or you can just admit to it and take the whole poke away from it. It's no big deal. Chad, nicotine increases blood sugar levels? Which is interesting. Because why I'm saying that's interesting, the cure for like a cigar that's too strong is to drink something that's at least a little bit sugary, because it'll help somehow neutralize the effect of what the nicotine's having. But I'm not gonna disagree with you, Chad. I'm just saying that's one of the things that helps with a cigar that's too strong. By the way, howdy, Chad. Great to see you, sir. Been a while. I have listened to a bunch of your live streams after the fact. Normally, while earbud in, doing stuff around the house or the yard, just letting it play. Paul has a snuff pouch made of woven thongs. All right, Chad, I'll agree with you there then. I'm not disagreeing by all means. I'm just saying that one of the cures for a cigar that's too strong is something with some sort of a sugar level that you can get into your system quickly. And that's been true for so many years. I don't even know where that started. And I've even been there a few times. There's certain cigars that I stay away from just because they jack me up. And on those cigars, I can't drink alcohol, which alcohol is bad for diabetics. So you very well might be right. It might be raising the sugar levels in your blood. But I don't know why consuming more sugar would have the adverse effect. It's because I don't know. Look, I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV. Well, Dan, that's an interesting thing, but I've never been a pregnant woman at the hospital. Apparently, I can do one thing better than most women, and that is grow a beard. I can't grow it very fast, and I can't grow it very well, but I can do it better than most women. Well, I'm listening. I'm learning. Nicotine affects the brain and inner ear processes. And lack of nicotine affects my ability to be calm in a natural situation. But I've said it many a time. I've always had a little bit of a problem controlling my own anger issues. Cessna. Not something I'm proud of, just something that I know is there. Oh yeah, Chad. Lack of nicotine is definitely a tragedy. Oh, by the way, in case anybody's been paying attention, today was John Harden's birthday. And it happens to be a Friday. So it's a perfect day to break out the Friday Savinelli and have yourself some haunted bookshop. Or maybe some old Joe Krantz. And now y'all are digging into them 50-cent words I can barely understand. Nootropic. I know Hawaiian Tropic is a potent cognitive enhancer for most men. Oh, and Paul, Hawaiian Tropic also believes in thongs. At least according to the last time I saw one of their calendars. It's been a while. I haven't seen one since my son was 18. Perfectly all right to see one in an 18-year-old boy's room, right? He'll be 28 this year, by the way. So yeah, it's been a while. Well, look, if there's a negative effect of my own nicotine consumption, I haven't found one yet. Boris? I am happy that you can have haunted bookshop. I didn't know it was that difficult to get in Finland. I feel bad for people that are stuck in tobacco purgatory. Can't get certain blends that are readily available because they live on the wrong side of the pond. or in Australia. Though Robert did try to send Glenn some Stonehaven. Dan, while that might be true, I think my studying college kid age is slightly past me. Yeah, I guess that's because too many C&D blends have flavorings added, and pretty much all of Europe has been like, no, you can't put flavorings in tobacco. That might make people want it more. Because I see so many high school kids going around smoking a stogie or puffing on a Savinelli and exclaiming about how great this blend is. I mean, I could see outlawing Captain Black Grape. Trust me, Boris, you're not missing anything over there. I had 2 bowls of Captain Black Grape, and it took 4 bowls of an English blend to unghost the Captain Black Grape. Almost makes me wish I did not win that tin of Innerdale or Squadron Leader. Almost. I'm still ridiculously excited about trying Squadron Leader. Figure I'm gonna do that right around my birthday. Just because. Well, we've been on here for an hour, so I guess it's okay to ask. Bowl call. What are you smoking in? What are you smoking it in? Again, I am smoking the Alec Bradley Lost Art. Well, Dad, I've always looked at Squadron Leader, and I've just never pulled the trigger on putting it in the cart and hitting the purchase button. I always find something else I want just slightly more, so I'm pretty cool about it. Chad with the Haunted Bookshop in the 673. I'm willing to bet that 673 also comes with the number 13 on it. Chad got my pipe. I know he did. And yes, nicotine is technically a poison. Very small amounts will kill you. But according to California, even oxygen has been proven to be, in some way, shape, or form, necessary for the formation of cancer. Oh yeah, Boris, that would be crazy. Labelings that are legal in all the countries. It's probably not even possible. Howdy, Steve and Miss Kathy. Great to see you today. Hopefully all is well. By the way, we just hit bowl call, just in case y'all are feeling like letting everybody know. Don't worry, Chad. I know that the number 13 is cool for you also, so I'm pretty good with it. Dan, that's slightly wrong. The only chemical that I've heard that you cannot overdose on is vitamin C. Though if somebody did dump 5 metric tons of vitamin C on top of you, yeah, you're probably not going to survive it. All right. Boris will be joining with the yardism. Smoke in the haunted bookshop in the Friday Savinelli. Oh, very nice. That would be the Bent Legend Cobb, I believe? Or is that a different Bent Legend than I'm thinking, Todd? Well, Dan, the vitamin C won't kill you. It's the diarrhea that kills you. The vitamin C, your body will only absorb so much, and the rest of it, it'll piss out. That's according to doctors. I found that one to be very interesting. What everybody's own personal vitamin C tolerance level or needs or whatever is at a different point. But you can keep taking it until you start pissing orange, and that's when you know that you're at your highest level that you need to be at. Well, Steve, that's a heck of a thing. Hopefully all that work is done for the day then. It's the weekend. Sit back, smoke something, enjoy something. All right, so it is a Cobb. All right. Dan, that's correct. It's somewhere around 250 milligrams, but they still make the 1,000 milligram of vitamin C chewable tablets that are still legal to be sold. And they know full well that you can't overdose on it. That's why they make them taste good. The only thing it's going to do is keep you from getting scurvy. Oh, yes, Dan. Smoked cod is good. About the only fish I don't like smoked is walleye. But fresh caught walleye, there's no reason to smoke it. I'm just going to eat it. Howdy, Matthew. Great to see you, sir. Oh, and for anybody who was watching James Stumbo the other night, as we had a real fun discussion about cast iron cookware and cooking in it. Mark at TPI, Tobacco Pipes International, he put out a real nice video where he cooked an egg right there in a cast iron skillet. Came out beautifully. Quick, easy, no problems at all. So many people have these theories about cast iron that are so wrong. Steve, I understand that entirely too. Yeah, I obviously had that same problem. Oh, by the way, that Stonebreaker stuff, it does not taste as bad in a glass of orange juice as every other way that I've tried it. So you're getting a double whammy of good stuff if that's the case. Oh yeah, AZ Hawk. Yeah. You'd have to catch 3 cargo ships full of walleye just to have enough left over to actually think about smoking it. So good. And people who've never had walleye, y'all don't know what you're missing. Here, let me put the disclaimer on that. It's horrible stuff. You don't want any of it. By the way, howdy, AZ Hawk. Great to see you, sir. Matthew, there's like no way you can fix walleye that's not phenomenal. I've had it steamed in a parchment paper with a little bit of white wine. I've had it grilled. I've had it fried. I've just, man, I have to order it special to get it here. And when it comes in, they're gonna ship like 10 pounds, and I buy the whole 10 pounds. My local store's like, you really eat all that? And I'm like, yeah, there won't be any left tomorrow. They're like, are you feeding 10 people? No, that's enough for me. I might let my wife have some. And my mother-in-law, if she's been nice that day. Oh yeah, fresh cod is the best. Though they're a little spooky if you catch them yourself. The teeth and the all white eye, and you're just like, ugh, it's kind of a scary looking fish. Oh, well, I'm glad you already knew that, Steve, because I tried every possible way to consume that 1 dropper worth of stone breaker in any way, shape, or form that didn't just have me thinking about taking my tongue to a belt sander. It's horrible tasting stuff, but hey, I've had no kidney stones that weren't easy to pass ever since I started taking it. And before that, I had 2 that put me in the hospital. I don't want another one. Dad, I could probably eat about 10 pounds of orange roughy. I could also imagine that my mercury level will go through the roof, but hey. But if you told me that I could have $3 a pound walleye or free orange roughy, I'm pulling my wallet out because I'm getting that walleye. And most people here in Texas do not know what walleye is. They have no clue how good it is. We've had orange roughy. Fresh caught walleye, though, it kind of reminds me of sitting on the docks in Bar Harbor and eating lobster straight off of the damn ships or boats or whatever they want to call them. And you'll get lobster at a phenomenal price because it had one problem, like a broken claw or not the right species of lobster or whatever it was. And they'll just bring it into the docks and cook it right there on the docks. And if you're there at the right time, you could sit out there and camped out on the end of the dock, t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops, eating lobster out of a piece of newspaper with a little bit of fresh butter. Ah, so good. Way better than you'll get at some restaurant because it's fresh. Just a thought. Bright orange anal leakage. That would be an issue. Alligator gar's good. And sort of related to the gar is the muskie and the northern and the hybrid, which is a cross between a muskie and a northern. Hey, AZ, preaching to the choir here, brother. Fresh lobster right off the dock. Ah, best lobster you'll ever have. I promise. And I'm willing to bet Boris could tell us some stories of stuff that is, you could get it fresh right there in Finland. You can't hardly get it anywhere else in the world. I'm going to believe him because I know the difference between, fresh walleye right out of the stream or the lake compared to walleye that was frozen, shipped to a restaurant, and then prepared, yeah, that fresh stuff is way better. I'll still eat it, but I know which one's going to taste better. In Hawaii, mai is still sometimes called mai, but then it's also sometimes called dolphin. AZ Hawk, that's Sweden, that's not Finland. Surströmming is Swedish. And it's only slightly better than that stuff from Iceland, the Iceland green shark. AZ, is it also called wahoo? I'll take your word for it. I'll tell you right now, though, I'm not going fishing anymore. I don't go fishing anymore. Last time I went fishing, that was it. I was done. Went fishing in Florida one year just before Christmas. And we went out deep sea. I hooked into a fish. Had one of those reels with looks like a pedal on both sides. The crank is from both sides, so you can use both arms. They got me strapped into the chair, and I'm cranking away on it. It came out of the water as I was looking down, and I never saw it, but they tell me it was a blue marlin. But after several hours, it spit the hook. Never got it up on the ship, never saw it again. Next day, my arms were so tired, I drank beer with a straw because, well, hurt too damn much to lift my arm enough to drink a beer. All the people that were with me were laughing at me. Of course, they were all pissed at me, too, because nobody else could keep their bait in the water and try and hook nothing. When you get a big fish like that, the rule is everybody reels in so you don't end up with a bunch of lines getting all tangled up. Nobody caught anything except for some sunburn and a hangover. Well, AZ, that stuff from Iceland, I know for a fact, smells like rotten fish. And personal, I don't think it probably tastes much better either, but I had it once. If it came down to that or starving to death, I would eat it, but not willingly. Oh yeah, Boris, the fish that becomes surströmming is tasty as hell. But once you start fermenting it and packing it in salt, and then you leave it for 2 months, and then you seal up the can, smell is enough to knock you over at 3 feet. I've only smelt it once. I was not going to eat it. I couldn't bring myself to eat it. I think it's about time for a brake job on that school bus. I figure you could use surströmming as stink bait. You might be able to catch catfish. And again, you might run the catfish off. Baltic Sea herring. I've had a lot of herring. Good stuff, just not produced the way surströmming is. Yeah. And if y'all don't know how surströmming is, well then you can either find out for yourself or you can take my word for it. You just don't want to. Oh yeah, Bear Wolf, come on now. Come on, Steve. I live too close to Louisiana not to love crawfish. I mean, where else can you get away with pinching tails and sucking heads? One trick to good crawfish, though, I'm just going to say this. Don't wipe your eyes. All the seasonings they put into crawfish, whoo! You will be begging to go to the hospital if you wipe your eyes. Well, if they're any good. And I'll tell you that if you're not catching your own crawfish, if you're buying them from a store and you're buying them in a big bag, the way to tell is you wave your hand close to the bag, just right over the top of the bag, and if all the claws come up and they're trying to latch onto you, that's a good bag. If none of the claws come up, there's a lot of dead ones in there and you don't want that bag. Take my advice or not for what it is. I've lived around too many Cajuns to ever not pick up a few of the tricks. AZ, I'd take getting tear gassed over being forced to eat surströmming. Hell, I'd even take getting pepper sprayed over having to eat surströmming. I practically did that last April 1st. Damn near caught my head on fire. It's a very popular show. Some 30 people showed up to watch me do it. Sure, I chickened out. I didn't finish. Steam clams are all right, depending upon which clams. Oh yeah, Steve, I definitely learned the lesson. Do not wipe your face. Wait until you can really, really scrub your hands clean before you go after it. Either that or you better start wearing rubber gloves. I mean, at least you could peel the glove off, wipe your face, put another glove on, go back to eating. Now, for me, it was always just easier to keep one small stack of paper towels over by you. If you got to really wipe your face or scratch or anything, you reach over, grab that paper towel, then you wipe down. Be fine. But it's crawfish. Crawfish are great.
You know it's seasoned good when your lips go numb.
Holly just said it. You know it's seasoned good if your lips go numb. Me, I just wait for my nose to start running and my head to start itching.
Numb lips. The answer.
So while you were inside, did you come up with any more conspiracy theories for us? Chad, Alabama supposedly has ice that doesn't burn because it's plastic.
I think it was Alabama. Somewhere over there in the deep south. Maybe it was Kentucky.
Well, you shouldn't be peeling any kind of a chili pepper and then rubbing your eyes. Capsaicin is a beast. Gets in there, burns you all kind of different ways. Reminds me of that advice I keep telling people. If you want to eliminate tongue bite, you get a blend and it's causing tongue bite every time. You eat a Carolina Reaper and then smoke a bowl. You will not have tongue bite. You might have ulcers, but you won't have tongue bite. Or if you do have tongue bite, you won't notice. It'll be fine. That is correct. The capsaicin will stay on your skin for days if you don't know how to wash it off.
Hey, is Boris still online?
Boris is still online.
Ask him how the tension is over where he is.
How do you mean tension?
With the everything going on in the Ukraine and my friend Putin.
So, Question for Boris. Holly wants to know what the tension is like in Finland with everything that's going on between Putin and the Ukraine at present. Are y'all
Feeling it, or
or is it just like one of those, yeah, well, that's way the hell and gone over there? And
it's not that far. That's the thing.
well, right. I mean, globally, it's pretty close, but I mean, for anybody to go after Finland, they still have to worry about,
I'm not saying they're going to.
can we find those 3 days of summer to invade?
I'm not saying they're going after Finland. It's just, I'm just wondering how the tension is over there.
Oh, and AZ Hawk, in answer to your statement, the same is true if you ever go visit the area where Tabasco is made. You go onto that island and you need to literally wear gloves that you can take off later so that you can then participate in being a human. Otherwise, because the oil just from walking through the area it's going to stay with you for a while. And Boris says it is a bit worrying. So she's shaking her head yes. I know.
Because I'm worried too for them.
And I hope you could hear her. She says she is worried as well for y'all. Steve, that's probably true. Carolina Reapers do have a little bit of a strong, immediate effect. I guess that's the best way to say it. But yeah, you go into Louisiana and you go visit the Tabasco plant. There's two things that are produced there. One is salt, the other is peppers. It's on a big, huge salt dome. And they've got boilers out there. And guess who had to go and inspect them? Only once. It was fun for me. Yeah, just salt and pepper. That's pretty much it. So you're ready to cook as soon as you get there. Oh no, I put on a Tyvek suit and some rubber gloves, did my boiler inspections, back out to the car, peeled everything off, got inside. I was fine. The little I call them rubber gloves, not like the ones you'd use for dishes, but more like the ones you'd use for hospital work. All of that went into a trash bag, stayed in the trunk till I got back to New Orleans, and then I threw it away. But I listened to the older men that had already been there, and they said, this is what you really need. Okay. Sometimes it's just so much easier to listen and follow instructions than it is to get that real world experience. Are you done for the day, baby? Yay! She's no longer a... What is it? Communist Party worker?
They hate me.
They hate you because you're in Texas and you have guns.
No, they hate me because I make them do their job correctly.
Holly's a little bit of a tyrant. Her theory is you will do your job and you will do it correctly, or I will tell you that you need to start doing it correctly, and I'll make sure
I'll stop you in your tracks.
everybody ahead of you and behind you knows that you are not doing your job correctly. No, Matthew, she doesn't work for the Democrats.
What?
She wouldn't degrade herself to work for... No, I'm not going to say that. She might work for a Democrat.
Nope. I would be hard pressed.
But she actually works for a company that is owned by China. So technically...
Owned by the Chinese government. Not just somewhere in China.
Sorry, that was the implication, is that every company that is in China is owned by China. The Chinese government.
That's not true.
And now I'm being told I'm wrong. Which, that's okay. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. That is why I'm the world's only colorblind Amish electrician, damn it. She knew that statement was coming. She's heard it before. She'll hear it again. As a curiosity, why do Chinese cats have blue eyes? According to Holly, it's because they're aliens. Siamese cats, blue eyes. Himalayan cats, blue eyes. I thought Chinese people hated blue-eyed things. Guess not. I am being ignored. It's okay.
Oh, were you talking to me?
No, babe, enjoy your video game. My blue-eyed cat decided he wanted to sink claws into me earlier today. He does not want to take his medicines. And when he does take his medicines, he goes, meow, 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 meow. And y'all think I'm joking. No, he really goes, meow, 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 meow. somewhere between I'm going to bite you and I know I'm taking this just so I can be healthy. I hate you. That's okay. Later tonight, he'll be right up in my face telling me he needs to be brushed. If it wasn't for Brush and Cookie, he would hate me entirely.
He would have left already.
He loves those little cat treats. And no, mine doesn't actually talk to me when he wants the attention. He just gets right up in my face. I mean, like... Boris says he's glad China is so far away because 90% of Finns have blue eyes. Boris, I didn't know that.
They're part of the Nords, of course they do.
Oh. I mean, I know of some Norwegian and Swedish people that have brown and green eyes. So I didn't know that the majority of Finnish people have blue eyes.
Most do.
Pretty much people in America have just about every color of eye under the rainbow. Doesn't seem to be any one that's truly prevalent. And mine are gray. Though during the summer they do tend to go such a light gray that they look blue. Poor Holly, she's only got a Van Morrison song for her.
It's because I have a lot of American Indian in me.
Because her family has a very healthy portion of Native American Indian, whether from Canada or not.
Mostly Canada.
I know I shouldn't be getting that close to the camera. That's a Chad thing. Chad likes to do that.
And James, he likes to kiss it.
Oh yeah, and James likes to kiss the camera. Oh yeah. And Holly finds that hysterical.
Funny.
And when it comes to things Russian, I ask her because she actually somewhat speaks the language. And Not like I used to. Yeah, more than most of us. I mean, she went there before the coup and after the coup. And when I say before the coup, I mean like they were leaving as the coup was starting.
They made us leave the country because of it.
Yeah, here's your summer trip where you're supposed to be going over to Russia to do a exchange type program and learn some of their culture and language. Oh, and by the way, we're cutting it short because things just went real wrong. That was Holly's first experience in Russia. And awesome. And then a few years later, she went back, and it was like
Different country.
completely different country. Weird world. Weird world. So about, little over 30 minutes for Glum Chum to be on. I haven't seen Matt today. I'm still looking for anybody that wants to do lives sometime between, 3:55 Central Time and, 5 o'clock Central Time. Well, Matthew, I didn't know that about Yugoslavia. But I guess, yeah, that would have been pretty hectic in certain times. And Chad just typed in something in Russian, but I can't pronounce it. It's got a W looking thing and 3 different N's, an E and an H in the first word. She's not coming over to look at it.
No.
She doesn't want to be on camera.
Correct.
Second word is ERO. Third word is XO. And then 2 funky looking things that could be R's or could be N's. And then the backwards N that's a capital.
Sounds like I have to look.
She'll have to look. And she doesn't want to.
Just get off my game.
Yeah.
I'm almost done.
Oh yeah, Yugoslavia is now Bosnia, Croatia, and a bunch of other countries. Great place to visit if you like getting shot at. At least there for a while. And Derek, aka Zippo765, says, "Yes, Holly, do it!
Do what?
Come over here and get on camera."
Negative.
I like some of Holly's Russian analogies. Like, it is easier to speak Russian if you're drunk.
I'm drunk.
Because people expect you to spit at them if you are drunk. And if you're going to speak Russian, you're going to end up spitting at somebody sooner or later.
I mean, it's not as rough as German is, but...
Well, German is just plain scary.
Very guttural, yeah.
The actual German language, Deutsch, is scary. I saw a thing on one of the YouTube channels that popped up on my feed where a guy was speaking in German, and below that was what he was saying captioned in English, and it had some girls listening into what he was saying and giving their reaction to what was said without knowing what the translation was. They were like, man, he sounds angry. And it was stuff like, how are you doing today? Simple, honest, okay questions. Yes, but Holly learned Russian so she could work for NASA.
No.
No?
No.
Why did you learn Russian?
Because I wanted to be an ambassador. And a spy.
She wanted to be an ambassador and a spy. Alright, Chad, I'm gonna try. Schlepni jego keholi. And she just said, what? And now Zippo is using Google Translate to translate some various things. Oh yeah, this has gone full Russian bot. But that same XO funky looking R backwards N thing keeps showing up.
I'll look at it in a minute. Tell them to keep their panties out of a bunch.
Y'all heard her. Keep your panties out of a bunch. She'll look at it sooner or later. She'll translate. I'd trust her translation over Google's.
No, I don't know if I would. Let's see.
It would be on my channel. Y'all guilt tripped her into actually watching my channel. This is stupid. The crazy thing is she can hear what's said, then there's a huge delay before what's said is actually said on the YouTube.
So look at, like it says, Donald. It's been a while. Pradim Hochid. And then Holly something. can't read it. I can't read all of it.
Oh, is XORR backwards N, Holly?
The one that looks like a backwards R is an L. And the X is an H sound. And the thing that looks like a pagoda or an upside down pagoda,
Okay.
that's a DONAL, and then it's got a soft sign and D, or a hard sign and then D.
Granted, she has admitted that it's been a while since she has read and translated Russian into English.
Been a very long time.
The other side of that is you cannot speak English while thinking in Russian, and vice versa. Oh, Todd, there's no way, shape, or form I would ever trust Biden.
Where are they getting the Cyrillic alphabet? Like, how are they able to type with the Cyrillic? I don't have that.
Okay, you go to Google,
Mm-hmm.
you have them translate it, and then you cut and paste. Yes, Clint Eastwood could think in Russian. But if you remember in the movie Firefox, he had problems at first when he first started trying to do it all because he was still thinking in English. And then he had to switch it all over to thinking in Russian.
It takes a long time to get to the point where you can just see it and speak it and hear it and speak it without stopping to think about it. For instance, it took me an entire summer to be able to do that, and then when I came back to the United States, I had problems getting back into English. Like, I would have to stop myself because I would start speaking to people in Russian. And then I'd have to stop and go, oh crap, you don't understand what I'm saying.
So here's a funny Holly story, and I'm going to tell this, and she can correct me if I'm wrong. She went to Russia, came back, got in a car with her brother and a friend, and they asked her, how was it? And she told them all about her trip, and they stayed silent. And they got all the way home. And then they asked, can you tell us in English now? Because she rattled off all about her trip, but she was steadily saying it all in Russian, which very few people here in the United States speak. Derek, I'm not even going to try and ask how you know about Cantonese, Mandarin, Japanese, or Vietnamese. Though I've spoken with people who speak Vietnamese, and they've all said pretty much the same thing. You can't, because it doesn't translate exactly.
Nothing does.
And I have some friends that are Japanese, and they've even said nothing translates exactly. For instance, my name in Japanese, minus one line that's a little underline at the very end of my name, means roach, as in cockroach.
That's apropos.
Holly says that's apropos. Go ahead, big words. Go ahead. Make fun. Come on, bring it on. I'm all right. I'm not offended by it. I was told that before I knew any of y'all. Odie, howdy, sir. Great to see you. By the way, I've been seeing a lot of people predicting that Cincinnati's going to win. But I think the NFL fix is in for Los Angeles to win in Los Angeles. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of calls go against Cincinnati. Hard to beat the team that you're playing against when the team in zebra stripes is also playing against you. And I really would love to see the Bengals win. Partly because I want to know that my team is the only team that won the Super Bowl while in Los Angeles. No problems there, right? I'm still a Raiders fan. A couple more decades, they'll be playing in San Antonio. I'll be able to make a day trip. Chances are they will never play in San Antonio. I'm not worried about that as a realistics. Only $4.5 million on the Bengals? That's okay. We've got a guy here in Houston that has an over $5 million bet on the Bengals to win. Guy by the name of Mattress Mac. He makes crazy bets on things, and then because he owns a very large furniture store here in town, he'll put it out there on the radio. If the team from Cincinnati wins it all, you get it all. You got to come in and buy $3,000 or more of furniture. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to go and they're going to take that bet. They're going to go for that $3,000. Hey, the last bet that I heard that he made like that was that if the team from Alabama wins the national championship, you get it all. Go Dogs. Oh, Odie. I would be surprised if Cincinnati wins. If there's just not like some huge party atmosphere in Cincinnati for the next 5 or 6 months. It would be like when the Rockets won that first NBA championship here in Houston. Y'all remember when Michael Jordan wasn't playing for 2 years and Rockets won both times? Splitting up the three-peat for the Bulls and the next three-peat for the Bulls. Oh yeah, the Rockets won that national champ or that NBA championship, and people were practically dancing in the streets. Hell, there's no practically. People were actually dancing in the streets. I'm fairly certain it'll be the same way in Cincinnati if they win. And I don't blame you. I mean, the way I see it, it's a little bit of a stacked deck. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. Wow, that language. Y'all didn't hear. I'm not repeating it. Yeah, 2007 Indiana. I could see that. Well, as we all know in the NFL, a couple of calls, one way or the other, at key moments of the game can greatly affect whether your team wins or loses. Pass interference. That wasn't pass interference, but pass interference. First and goal from the 3. Yeah, Derek, I if I was there, it wouldn't have been me. I still would have been wearing Raiders colors. No doubt I would still be wearing Raiders colors. Sharks colors, as in San Jose Sharks. You're talking Chad's language now.
Is your buddy from Canada on?
I've got 1 or 2. Why? What's up?
I was just wondering how they're feeling about the truck thing.
Okay. Dan, if you're still on, what's the feeling about the large trucker rally right now? Holly wants to know. I just heard something from Holly's phone saying, "Are y'all people at TikTok that damn stupid?" She likes TikTok. She likes her conspiracy theories. Howdy, Mike.
and send them to break up any kind of convoy, any kind of protest.
Nesconset?
Let him go ahead and do it. All we have to do.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of guys on TikTok that sound all kind of angry.
Hold a set of keys.
And like,
My keys. I own the trucking trailer. Any company driver can do the same thing. Turn the key off and nothing in this country moves. Not gas, not diesel, no oil, no food, no cars, no parts, no nothing.
so here's the funny thing.
What I said, everything. Yeah, guys,
Truckers keep the world running.
can't do it without you guys.
Because you can get all the parts and pieces and produce and fuel and everything close to where you're going. But then it takes truckers to get it from
But you also get
one location to its final locations.
specific two-bedroom apartment. You have 26 registries. Now, we don't know, but it raises the question. How
Odie, I caught the Ace Ventura reference.
balance? I'd like to know. How do you have 26 people registered in a two-bedroom apartment?
What's up, you guys? So Elon Musk just did the single greatest thing that I've ever seen. I'm gonna jump in my phone and show you exactly what he did. You're gonna love this. So we're gonna type in a web address here. We're gonna go to www.liar.com. Check this out. It goes to Justin Trudeau's page. What a boss. Elon Musk did this. They can't take it down. Literally bought liar.com and sent it to Justin Trudeau's Wikipedia page, man. Shout out to you, Elon Musk. You are
I
a
don't know if
legend.
it's true. No, I gotta check.
I guess somebody has done something funny with the www.liar.com. Hey, have you seen the phone?
Oh my god, that is so funny. Oh my god.
So somebody has,
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk has
Go to liar.com.
finagled it so that if you go to www.liar.com, it'll take you to somebody else's Wikipedia page.
Hit enter. Hit search.
Okay. So we're going to hit the go, and it takes you to Justin Trudeau's Wikipedia page.
Awesome.
www.liar.com. There you go. Somebody has troll skills. Even worse, now that it's paid for,
What is it about our DNA that's so
you can't take it down. Whoever owns it can keep it up for as long as they like.
Well, researching to find out that our DNA, every one of us, holds the word
That's trolling at a whole new level. That's awesome.
creator. Over and over and over and over again. Now say we are creating
So any of y'all Canada people up here, y'all remember www.liar.com.
there's nothing that comes out of it.
You can show your friends and get a good laugh at it. Oh, look at there. We are down into the last 8 minutes before Glum Chum is at least nominally supposed to go live. Anybody else got any crazy questions? Anything y'all want to discuss?
holy shit.
Now I'm going to get her to say what she just saw on TikTok.
You can look at it yourself.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to see. That was a spaceship on the back of a flatbed truck.
Okay, it was a spaceship on the back of a flatbed truck. Or at least some sort of saucer shaped. No guarantee it could fly. So many weird things going on in the world today. What am I cooking for the Super Bowl? Probably nothing. Chances are I'm not watching very much of it. I'll probably watch the halftime show just to see the commercials. Because commercials for me are the best part of the Super Bowl if my team's not playing in it. Now, Odie will be cooking brain cells and bottles of bourbon. I'm pretty sure of that. Howdy, Robert. Great to see you, sir. We're all hanging out, waiting for Glum Chum to start. Oh, yeah. See, I knew Odie was going to have some kind of a comment there. Oh, great. Now there's a portal to another dimension in Washington. What? Robert, in case you missed it, www.liar.com. You'll understand after you see it. I thought it was funny. And for those of you in Canada who don't think it's funny, well, I'm sorry. It's humor. Just one of those things. Robert says, "Got it. Let's go, Brandon." It's not my fault. I didn't do this. I'm going to have a good day. Best I can tell you, I'm going to have a good day. So what's coming up tonight? Let's see. Glum Chum, Cane Rod Piper. Martin's, of course, going to be there at Over a Pipe. And then tomorrow, Simon should be on. And there's the Virtual Pipe Club. A lot of good, interesting stuff coming up. Chad might or might not throw another live. His are unscheduled as of now, but if Google will stop blocking the notifications from showing up, maybe I'll actually be able to find it when he's on. Good one, Robert. Karen is head over heels for the Bengals. Will she even walk like an Egyptian? Oh wait, that's the Bengals, not the Bengals. Just one of those funny things.
Shoot out of the hole into the sky. He also said that a neighbor dumped his dead dog's body into the hole, and the next day the dog was outside alive. This is where it gets kind of weird though. So Mel's property was right next to the Yakima Training Center, which is a military base. And shortly after that first phone call, Mel claimed that the government tried to silence
Back's hurting, sorry.
And then later, a satellite photo was taken of where Mel's property supposedly
How Chad sits on his wooden steps for 3 hours comfortably, I just don't know. Odie, if I didn't pay, you don't have to either. Best I can tell you. Of all the other things I can tell you is, hey, with a minute out, I want you all to remember, take care of yourselves and each other. Do the best you can with that. And as per always, remember, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I will be seeing you at Glum Chum Piper's channel. That would be Matt, for those of us who know him somewhat well. He should be on here in just a few minutes at the most. Uh-oh, Robert's wanting the PayPal address. There you go. So y'all have a great day, and I'm just getting notified that Glum Chum just went live. So y'all take care. Go Bengals! And I will see y'all over there in just a minute. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.